the Staples Center. 59-54, the Lakers lead by 5. Lakers dealing with a lot of injuries this year. One of the gentlemen who has not been healthy for him is Steve Nash. Nice to see you.
Great to see you. This is amazing. I mean, one scholarship offer. I'm on the dream team. This is fantastic.
You're trying to butter him up right away. Well, we'd much rather see you out there on the floor. So let's start with that. Obviously, you're having some problems with the back, and it's related to other things. Tell us your status right now.
Not good. You know, it's been tricky, but you know, I usually after a good night's sleep, I kind of find the resolve to stick with it and keep working. And you know, it's a tricky injury with the nerves, but it's also a very difficult rehabilitation to get it right. But you know, like I said today to the press, I have 18 months of basketball left, so I want to give it everything I can to play as much of that 18 months as I possibly can.
Earlier this week, Peter Vesey tweeted, and then others followed suit about there was, you know, it's gotten to the point it's so bad that there was thoughts of retirement. Is that legitimate? Has that entered your mind with all the difficulty you're going through?
That's the first I'd heard of it, but you know, like I said, I'm still feeling like I got a long life ahead of me without basketball, so I want to try my best to come back and play and not only just be out there, be effective, and that's going to be the challenge.
Meanwhile, you get an opportunity to sit next to Jeff Van Gundy, and I know when you watch games, there's certain things that annoy you about analysts.
Yeah.
What's the #1 thing that bothers you about Jeff Van Gundy and NBA analysts?
Buttering up the referees.
Well, you know, because you have to plot your way back into the NBA if you're ever going to coach again. So you got to be, you know.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
I understand. I can respect that. You're trying to get, you know, you're trying to get wins before they even.
All you're looking for is one call. You know that, one call. This could be one important call.
Absolutely.
But what do you think about this Laker group and how well they're playing, not just tonight, but at home in general, how well they're sharing the ball? Doesn't Mike D'Antoni deserve a lot of credit?
He does. You know, I think, I mean, you look at our team and there's, you know, not a lot of NBA starters. And, you know, guys are playing hard. They're playing together. We're playing, you know, two units more or less. And I think, you know, you give credit to the guys for their attitude and their commitment, but the coaching staff's done a wonderful job getting them to buy in defensively, to play together defensively, and to share the ball in offense.
You obviously you played for Mike. You had so much success in Phoenix as a reach and foul is called on Jordan Hill. And it's, although everybody says, oh, it's so much fun to play this style when you push the tempo and a lot of offense going, but it's not an easy style to play and get used to because the effort is a huge part of it.
The effort is a huge part for sure. There's, you know, although it looks wild, you know, it takes a lot of discipline, you know. And I think especially for guys that just enter this system, they see the open shots and running the floor, but the commitment to run, to get all the way to the corner or to dive to the basket, to, you know, take that responsibility on and make your teammates better by sacrificing yourself by effort is paramount to offense, or else it gets bogged down and it can look really bad.
Before the game, we were talking to Mike, and he gave you the ultimate compliment. He said in one of your 2 MVP years, you went a whole season without making a bad decision, shot, pass decision, or who to throw the ball to. But I look back on your humble start at Santa Clara and then Phoenix and then Dallas. What do you think your greatest accomplishment was as a player? Was it the 2 MVPs or battling back from, you know, a rough start as a professional?
Yeah, you know, I think it's interesting. Look back on it. I mean, you could obviously point to a lot of different things. One of them being my second year in the league, Jason Kidd and Kevin Johnson on the team, and I played 22 minutes a game. You know, I was lucky to have a coach that wanted to go small, but that was a big turning point for me. You know, gave me a lot of confidence to persevere. And when I went through some tough times in Dallas, you know, because of that, you know, I had a lot of belief in myself. So, you know, I think I'm pretty lucky to still be playing basketball after all these years, and I've had a lot of obviously great teammates and coaches that have allowed me to be successful.
Lakers by 3 with just under 5 minutes gone by here in the third. Off the turnover, here goes Harrison Barnes and lays it in. You know, you mentioned the Dallas part. First 2 years you play with Phoenix, then you go to Dallas, and you were booed at home when you first went there. And I remember you told a story about You were getting booed, and your brother was in the stands.
Yeah,
Could you tell that?
I mean, it was a phenomenal experience, really. I got booed every time I touched the ball at home, and it was when Barkley was playing for Houston, so it was a sellout. One of the worst teams in the league. That's not an easy accomplishment for a point guard in the NBA. You know, the games are 48 minutes. You do have the ball in your hand quite often. So my brother played professional soccer in England at the time, and it was the first time he got to see me play in my career. I was in my third season in the league. And I was getting booed. I mean, it was merciless. And I looked up there, and he is killing himself laughing at me. And, you know, it just kind of brought everything back to perspective that, you know, I probably should get over myself at this moment and not cry like a little girl.
Well, having 4 brothers, that's what they're supposed to do. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, Golden State within 3, 5.5 remaining in the third. Let's ask you, since you're sitting here, you have to be an analyst of both teams. What do you think of Golden State?
I like Golden State. I mean, I think, you know, when you look at Golden State's starting lineup, it's a championship caliber starting lineup. They can continue to improve and develop at both ends together. The challenge for them, and no disrespect to anybody, is can they find a bench? You know, can they find some depth? And you know, if they can find that, whether it's another piece or just find, you know, the chemistry and developing some of the players they have, I mean, they got to be in the conversation.
All right, we're going to ask you to stay a little bit longer. We'll take a timeout. 5.5 remaining in the third, and it's a 3-point lead for the Lakers.
Playing big is just showing up every game, showing up in every big moment. As a basketball player, you want the big moments.
We are back. No timeout.
I like that.
Hey, if you get Steve Nash to sit with you, no commercials, no timeouts. The rules change.
Blake. The ball movement is really fun to watch.
It is.
As Sean Williams grabs the offensive board. Henry with the jump shot way off.
But I know this to be true. When you went to training camp, you couldn't name half these guys who they were.
Well, I mean,
no, you didn't know them. Just say it. Who did? No. Which ones didn't you know at all?
I'm not going to throw them under the bus like that. But you know, the truth is, a lot of guys have been kind of discarded by their teams. You know, they're in the NBA because they have talent. They hadn't necessarily proven what type of player they are yet, and I think that's one of the things that Mike deserves a lot of credit for. He empowered the guys. You know, that everybody can play well if you share the ball and commit to it. And, you know, we see guys like Xavier Henry and Jordan Hill, and guys having great years, Steve Blake. You know, he's really given them an opportunity to be themselves, and it takes effort. You know, in this system, it does take effort.
All right, part of being a member of the media, you're required to break stories. So when's Kobe coming back?
You know what? Kobe could play Sunday. You know, I hope that he takes his time and really gets his legs underneath him, but you know how he is. He'll show up Sunday and say I'm playing. So we'll see. Let's hope he, you know, is really in great shape and feeling confident with his Achilles and everything else when he does come back. But you never know.
Iguodala ties the game with a 3-pointer. How does he look in practice, Steve?
I mean, you know, no matter how long or how far he is from getting his legs back or getting in shape, you know, he obviously has an incredible skill level. His feet are great. His knowledge of the game is, you know, on par with anybody. So he still is doing some amazing things on there, even though he's, you know, not been really in that setting for 6-8 months.
Now Gasol with a beautiful move down the other end. He's got now 20 for the game. Sean Williams comes up with a rebound. Young on the pull-up. Bogut grabs it. How about, Steve, you've always been so much fun to watch. For you, when you're home watching, putting on the league pass and watching some games, who are the point guards that you really enjoy watching? There's so many good ones in there.
It's an amazing time. I mean, where do you start and stop? Oh, Iguodala looks like he's tweaked something. But, you know, I mean, I think Chris Paul is the best point guard in the league. That's no surprise. I think, you know, Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook are kind of a different category for me. You know, I don't know what you want to call them. They're kind of like a combo guard in many ways.
The position has changed.
It has, and it continues to. I think, but for me, you know, I love Steph Curry, one of my favorite players. I love watching Kyrie Irving. And you know, you go down the line, there's just so many point guards, and it's a great time for the position. And obviously the game suits the point guards right now. They're relying much more on point guard play than we used to rely on, you know, post-ups especially, but also, as you said earlier in the telecast, pin downs. You know, we don't play like that off the ball anymore. The way the league's gone, we create perimeter opportunities and shots off of rotations. Guys have to close out, or a guy dives to the basket and opens up a three. So the game continues to evolve, and you know, maybe it's cyclical, but it's very interesting for me to have played through some of those cycles and kind of eras. Not to age myself too much.
No, but it's
too many eras. But
you have. You played through where the rules have changed so significantly, downsizing, and really you guys in Phoenix brought that in to play small pretty much throughout the 48 minutes. I was dying when I was coaching against you in Houston. Please play Stephen Hunter and Stoudemire together so we could trap you, you know?
2:15 remaining, shot clock winding down. Young throws it up and rattles in the three.
Swaggy D. What more could you want?
Lakers go up by 5. Now 6 of 15 from three-point range.
By the way, if you want the inside stuff, you got to get in on a Swaggy P, Chris Kaman conversation. Those are good. Those are stellar.
What would they possibly have to talk about?
It's probably not, you know, kosher.
Yeah.
Here, late third quarter of the Staples Center. We're joined by Steve Nash. His Marmar. Did you just give a yes? That's the Marmar call. Nice. Hey, thanks so much for coming by. It's a great-looking suit, but I'd rather see you in orange and gold out there.
Hope you get healthy.
Yeah, it was a thrill. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. We'll take a break here with 1:33 remaining here on the Staples